In the gloom of the Great Depression, a monstrous shadow loomed over the city of Cleveland, Ohio. A serial killer, known as the Cleveland Torso Murderer, was at large. This sinister figure struck fear into the hearts of the city's inhabitants from 1935 to 1938, leaving a chilling trail of blood and horror in their wake. In these chillingly dark years, the Cleveland Torso Murderer claimed at least 12 lives, although some speculate the actual number could be higher. The victims were often found decapitated and dismembered, their bodies discarded with a disregard that spoke of a chilling indifference to human life. The brutality of the crimes sent shockwaves through the community, a grim reminder of the predator lurking among them. As the body count rose, fear gripped the city tighter than the cold Ohio winters. Each new victim served as a macabre testament to the killer's reign of terror, yet the killer remained as elusive as smoke. The first victim was found in September 1935, setting off a chain of gruesome discoveries that would haunt Cleveland for years. The initial discovery was of a woman, later identified as the Lady of the Lake, whose decapitated body was found washed ashore on the beach of Lake Erie. This chilling find marked the beginning of a reign of terror that would last for 3 long years. By February 1936, a second victim was discovered. A male decapitated and emasculated, his body left in the snow. The city was gripped by fear as whispers of a serial killer began to circulate. As the body count rose, the panic within the city escalated. Each victim was found dismembered, often decapitated, and always horrifically mutilated. The murderer, who would come to be known as the Cleveland Torso Murderer, was growing bold, leaving his victims in plain sight, almost as if taunting the police. The city's law enforcement, desperate to apprehend the killer, called in Elliot Ness, a man celebrated for his work with the Untouchables in Chicago. Ness took over the investigation, bringing with him a renewed hope for justice, but the killings continued. Victim after victim, the city's fear turned into desperation. The police force, despite their best efforts, seemed powerless against the faceless monster. The city, once vibrant and full of life, now lived in the shadow of an unseen terror. The final victim was found in August 1938, marking the end of the gruesome spree. A woman, like the first victim, found decapitated and discarded. But despite the end of the killings, the terror lived on. Despite their best efforts, the police were always one step behind the killer. The final victim was found in August 1938, but the murderer was never caught. The Cleveland Torso Murderer remains one of the most infamous unsolved cases in American history, a chilling reminder of a time when a city was held hostage by fear. More than 80 years have passed since the last victim was found, yet the identity of the Cleveland Torso Murderer remains a mystery. In the heart of the 1930s, a chilling wave of terror swept through Cleveland, Ohio. The city was gripped by a series of brutal murders, each more horrifying than the last. 12 victims, maybe more, dismembered and discarded with an almost industrial coldness. Despite the best efforts of law enforcement, the case went cold. The murderer, seemingly as faceless as his victims, slipped through the fingers of justice. Yet the intrigue did not fade with time. The case has been the subject of countless books, films, and armchair detective theories, each trying to unravel the enduring enigma. The fascination lies not only in the gruesome details but in the unanswered questions that hang heavily in the air. The Cleveland Torso Murderer case remains one of America's most chilling unsolved mysteries, a dark tale of a city under siege and a killer who vanished into thin air.